Hey, what's happening, people? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I'm Tony, and in this video we're going to compare the Magmod Magshere XL modifier with a Softbox. And I'm going to compare with a two-foot Softbox because many of you ask us lately if you can replace the Softbox with the Magsphere. These two modifiers are quite different. First of all, just look, the Softbox size compared with the Magsphere is way bigger, and they provide different type of lighting, but there is one area where they overlap and they look the same. The Magsphere is more like a lantern type of light. It only has one layer of diffusion, and I use it all the time with this reflector because it's easier to mount. I can use an S2 bracket to connect my small flash, because with the small flash I think most of us are using this assembly more than use it with a bones mount light, a bigger strobe. And I like to keep it collapsed because it helps to spread the light even more. Having just one layer of diffusion, of course, is a lot more contrasty and have more specularity compared with the Softbox, which has two layers of diffusion. The inner diffuser is just to spread the light from your flash, to scatter the light, to have an even illumination on the front diffuser. And the front diffuser scatters the light even more, and that will make the apparent size of the Softbox compared with your subject even bigger. It's a super versatile modifier, and I think the main difference between these two is just the size, and also this being made out of rubber, it takes a lot more of abuse. It collapses in a smaller package, and if you're in running and gunning situations, I think this is a better solution, because you can toss it in your bag and just go around your way, without worrying damaging the modifier. So in this video we're going to compare these two modifiers, and we're going to have two scenarios. First, we're going to have an interior portrait shoot, with the modifier being the only source of light to be able to see the clear pattern each light will have. And the second scenario, we're going to go outdoors, where the modifier will be used with the ambient light. We're going to have kind of like two lights, because many of us are going to be using the modifiers outdoors in a real photo shoot. These two situations will change the looks of your pics, very different, and we're going to take a look at what's happening. For the interior portrait, I have the modifiers on a stand 2 feet from my subject, 1 foot above the eye level. I feather the light to not point straight to my subject, and I have the center of the modifier pointing maybe in front of my model. I set the lights in a Rembrandt lighting position, just because it's easier to see the highlights and shadows. I meter the light with a Sekonic handheld meter, and I was shooting at 200 of a second, aperture 1.8, ISO 100. I was using the R5, the Canon R5, with an 85 1.2 lens on a tripod. As you can see from these pics, the Magsphere being smaller will have more contrast. Also has more saturated color, and the transition between the shadows and the highlights are sharper. Being the smaller light, the highlights have a different specularity, and it shows more texture and a micro contrast. The reflector part of it narrows the light, and it doesn't spill too much on the background. It makes the light a little bit more directional. The Softbox, being bigger and softer, has a smoother transition from highlights to shadows, but it spills more light on the background and being a side light, for Rembrandt. And also it reduces the contrast and the texture on the face of my subject. The placement of the light is very critical. I'm going to elaborate more on the outdoor shoot. Outside, we have the ambient acting as a second light, and we can use the ambient as our main light and the off-camera flash as the fill, or you can use the flash as the main and the ambient as the fill. The Magsphere, being the smaller light, it renders as a harder light, but as fill light, both modifiers act the same. If you keep the light from the output on your flash to be only 20-30% from the overall exposure, and you use it as just a fill light, you don't see the difference between these two modifiers. They act the same. I mean, you don't even know which one is which. But in the second, you try to underexpose the background, and your modifier become the main light and a little bit stronger output. You already start having shadows on your subject, on the face of your subject, and these shadows can be very sharp, especially with the Magsphere. I always try to keep the nose of my subject pointing in the direction of the light to minimize the nose shadows going across the face. The more you feather the light, the more pronounced the shadows will be when you use it as your main light and you underexpose the background. The softbox is more versatile because you can bring it closer and it gets softer, and the transition between the highlights and shadows are smoother. The Magsphere is doing a great job spreading the light, but because you only have one layer of diffusion, the light is still very directional, but you have still a nice soft fallout, around your subject. In a windy situation, the Magsphere will shine the best because it can take a lot of abuse. And also when you use it as a fill to open up the shadows on your subject, the face works really great because it has more punch. As you can see from these photos, the Magsphere being smaller produces a harder light with more contrast and more saturated color. Sometimes you want to have a saturated color, sometimes, depending on the skin of your subject, you want to soften the skin tones. Also, the specularity is more accentuated with the Magsphere, and of course you have a softer look with the softbox. Sometimes, if you want to have a more pop in the colors, of course, the Magsphere will work better. But if you want to smoothen the skin tones on a person, is better with the softbox. It's not an easy answer for any photography gear, and you have to have different tools for different situations. I think both modifiers are going to help improving your lighting looks. And depends, like if you go with the Magmod, the whole line, is better to get these modifiers. I find the softboxes, especially like the Parapop and this, being a little bit more versatile on my for my lighting, because they have these magnetic adapters, and I can use small flashes, round head flashes with the magnetic attachments. It's very easy to pop in, and it's very easy to set them up and use them in any situation. If you have any questions about this video, please comment below and I will get back to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please check out my channel for more lighting tutorial and gear reviews. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.